Ever wonder why your conversations with women feel flat? Even when you're saying all the right things? In this video, I'm going to show you how to tease a woman like a true natural, so you can get her laughing, build sexual tension, and create such an irresistible presence that she will instantly want to spend all her time with you. This is one of the most powerful tools for creating immediate results, no matter where you're starting. And it's a core technique I've taught hundreds of clients to successfully use, both in dating and long-term relationships. What you have to remember is that it's not the content of your tease that creates the effect, it's the way you package it and the delivery that really seals the deal. Teasing is like how an older brother messes with his younger sibling. It's playful, it's affectionate, but there is an underlying sense of dominance. He says the thing you're not supposed to say, but his grin makes it comical, not cruel. If he said the same words without the grin and the tone, it may come off as bullying. If he looked nervous saying it, it may come off awkward. You get the gist. It's not about what he says, it's about how he holds himself when he says it. That's teasing at its core. It's playful dominance wrapped up in warmth. The function of teasing is multifaceted because it communicates several things simultaneously. Namely, that you are able to create excitement and make dates and possibly relationships a roller coaster of strong emotions. Women at the end of the day just want to feel something and run away from boredom at all costs. Furthermore, you must avoid at all costs the temptation of trying too hard or to engage in self-deprecating humor to get her to laugh. More often than not, when a woman is intrigued, she will make it very easy for you by laughing at your every trick. Secondly, teasing suggests that you have options and that you're not afraid of her possible disapproval. When you tease a woman, you are indirectly communicating to her that you don't take her too seriously, and that you are experienced enough to know how to challenge her in an arousing and sexually charged way. So you might be wondering then, how do I actually tease a woman without coming off like a tryhard? The most important detail to remember is your energy when you're around her. You must always approach her from a place of amusement. You are amused by her tests, by her compliments, by her actions. Everything must arise from that source. And there really are two keys to teasing that you can easily implement to deepen your relationship and enrich your experiences. You have the jab and you have what I call the hook. That's it. You use the jab to disqualify yourself or create a small withdrawal of validation to turn the tables and get her to engage. You do this by making a situational observation or statement, by using playful sarcasm, exaggeration, or cockiness to connect it with her emotions or something she previously mentioned. What happens as a result is that she feels invited to play ball with you and will become receptive because she feels lightly challenged and wants to win your approval, which you don't easily provide. You are slowly giving it to her through playing ball. This is also a clever way to test her desire. If she plays along, giggles, and matches your energy, you know she is receptive. On the other hand, if she becomes defensive or cold and can't take light teasing, your relationship will likely be a constant power struggle. Now, the hook, on the other hand, can be used when she's testing you or trying to control the frame of the interaction. As a good rule of thumb here, any test disguised as a question should always be taken light, because women do this instinctually and often subconsciously. You do this by firstly either agreeing or disagreeing, and secondly exaggerating the rest of the story or statement to the point of absurdity without backpedaling, explaining, or pleading. What this communicates is that you are above her experiments and you can handle her jabs gracefully without turning bitter or insecure, with the inherent understanding that this is the nature of playing ball with a woman. Once the ball is in her court, you always end the tease with a smirk and not a punchline. The pregnant pause after you detonate an explosive like that increases the tension in the room and reminds her who you actually are. The point is not to win, but to create a feeling inside her, be it tension, excitement, or arousal. Knowing how to tease women will immediately improve your interactions with women tenfold. But if you don't know how to pull back when the situation calls for it, you run the risk of snapping the band of desire. Tension is like a rubber band stretched between you and the woman. If you pull too hard by blindly pursuing, over talking, or overstaying, the band snaps. You come off overly enthusiastic and you undermine desire itself. But if you never pull at all and remain distant and impassive, it hangs limp and you achieve a similar fate, a loss of attraction. The balance is, of course, found in the middle. And this is a move called a takeaway. A takeaway is the art of gently releasing the rubber band to increase the tension. Sometimes all it takes to achieve this in scenarios where things are unfolding smoothly is turning away from her momentarily, being the first to withdraw from an interaction, or withdrawing your presence when she reaches an emotional high. This is best used on later dates just before intimacy, when you have already established rapport and the woman has already displayed a high interest signal. A degree of confidence, of course, is needed to pull this off because it can backfire quickly, especially with a woman who hasn't given you the green light, so to speak. But when done correctly, the woman's emotional state strengthens its connection to you, and her craving to be around you only heightens. This is a sure way for the woman to have your impression in her mind for the days that follow. There is something enigmatic about a man who is unpredictable, who has the audacity to stretch out that band of tension to its ultimate extent to create a memorable experience. If you made it to the end, you clearly value results over theory. I want to hear your experience in the comments. And if you're ready to stop guessing and have a clear step by step roadmap to build fulfilling relationships with women, click the link in the description to work with me one on one. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.